One, and we're live.
Nice. Hello there.
Hello there. Welcome. Where's your Red Bull? Oh, it's a monster this week. Oh wow.
Yeah,
You're
I
in
haven't.
hardcore.
I haven't had a monster in years, literally years, and I got this one, and I don't know. It's okay. I bought it last week because I drank my Red Bull, and I was like, in case of emergency.
Crack can in case
Yeah.
of emergency.
That's how I do. That's
Well, it's still really
basically the drug that I take. Like, I don't do more than this. This is like my maximum amount of taking drugs.
yeah. Oh, you're a good. Well, you know the Sundays with family beg to differ. To be honest, that's alcohol is a drug.
Well, those are. Well, I make cocktails. I don't drink. Well, I sip the ones that I want to try because I want to know what I made.
Yeah,
but I
you
don't
don't drink
drink. No. I just like getting my friends drunk.
That doesn't sound ominous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say no more. Say no more. What's been going on this week? Any news?
Any news? No, not really. Been doing a lot of design for my agency with my team, and a lot of vibe coding, like things that I want to share, obviously, in the next few moments. Yeah, but it's
you got
it's been
stuff to
quite
share,
fun.
have you?
Yeah, always
Always
vibing, never not be
vibing out.
vibing.
Well, I just did a launch, so yeah, I should probably check that it's all working, right? That's something you do, right? You check that the app works that you just launched. I'm pretty confident it works. You know, it works in dev, so you know.
What work? I'm just telling my AI to not make any mistakes, and since last stream, I learned to tell it to write tests, whatever that means.
Okay. Oh yeah, because we went live on Wednesday, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, just write tests.
Well, it's a weird one because obviously if it's just updating the tests all the time, then you want to only add tests for new features when they're complete, and you can physically test they're complete, and then when stuff like when test fails, that your AI is not like, you always just want to make sure you run all the tests at some point, but the feature, you only create tests for that one feature, get them passing, and then you can verify they're passing. And then when you move on to a new feature and it runs them all and then it breaks something else, you then need to be like, okay, we need to fix the feature, not
that broke.
not the test. Don't touch the test.
Yeah,
because the test works, you know.
Yeah, see,
anyway.
this is giving me kind of like new perspective. I completely get what you mean. Yeah. It makes sense, but it's so easy to confuse the AI.
Yeah,
like for me to confuse the AI. Yeah.
I'm testing my app, by the way. That's why I'm down here like pressing buttons and stuff. But I've what are we on now? I've reached 10,000 subscribers. It's been a long time coming. We're currently at 10011. So 10,011 subs.
Let me check. I think I'm at 4K.
Nice. You should celebrate when you hit the 5.
Yeah, I don't post, which is really bad. Yeah, but I have a video like right now working on the thumbnails for that Figma, for that framer pricing. So what I did, I calculated basically if you have like 3 people in a team of with 3 projects, how much it's gonna cost. And it's insane. It stops making sense. And nothing like really too bad against Framer, but I don't understand why it should be that expensive. So that video is coming out. I have another video that got delayed about styles that we're going to see in the like trendy styles that we are going to see this year. That video is underway, and as I said, like prior to the show starting, and now we have a few people also watching, I'm not scared of AI anymore. And liberated.
You're free
by AI. So
that's good.
I see this constantly. A lot of people are they feel like it's just so much buzz around AI, and it's so difficult to wrap your head around it. And where do I start? And it feels like everybody is building, everybody is shipping, nobody is building.
Especially when you're not seeing the benefits.
Yeah. And I see so many people saying like, where do I start? And I was like that for a good chunk. But since I started using AI in my terminal, it shifted. It's like slowly but surely shifted. Now I can see, okay, where my shortcomings are. I see like, okay, how I could do better. And it's just learning this new way of doing things. I'm very well aware of like how I could introduce a lot of like vulnerabilities and, all of those things as well. But yeah, it's liberating to see this is the state we are in, and these are the tools that matter, and they are not scary anymore. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the long story.
You've taken command of the AI.
Yeah.
You now know how it all fits together.
Yeah, it's not scary. It
wasn't scary anymore.
It was. So I deployed my an app that I made like for tests, and I deployed it on Railway, and it's just a new world in a way, like databases and infrastructure, and so much that coming from Webflow, you don't deal with any of these. Now you deal with it with AI, but yeah, it's not scary anymore. It's just I have AI, and I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
That's still feeling nice. Yeah.
So I'm working on a kind of not core. Like I want to go into organizations and talk to them about how they can use AI to be better, work better, and things like that. And I came up with a concept literally this morning. And what people tend to do, and I don't blame them at all, is I think they tend to overwhelmingly try and figure out like, what can I do? And they end up like just really confused. I even got a comment on one of my videos. Some guy who's following my stuff, he was like, I'm still deciding what to build. And I think we need to, I describe these things as there's 2 levels that I've introduced, and I'm still working on this concept, this idea. The first level is, well, first of all, you've got to start with the problem that you're currently having, problem that you're currently facing, right? You've got to basically forget about the technology. The technology comes absolutely last. Decide on a problem that you're having, or more specifically, a problem that you encounter where you're doing the same thing over and over again, right? Automation is basically where we're trying to get to level 1. And if you can get to level 1 and figuring out how you can automate things, how you can systematize things, that lays the foundation for AI tooling, right? How AI can help you with your tools. And again, it kind of stems from this idea of another example, some guy he's trying to get me to build something for him, but I'm like, he thinks it's just some magic box that you can just chuck stuff into and loads of stuff comes out. And most of it most of the time it starts with a process that you're already doing, something that you're already doing. Like I had to say to him, where is the data coming from? Like, what's the sources? Where is it putting it? And all this sort of stuff. Because it needs to, the AI, if you're talking about an agent, that AI needs to follow and do things with real data. It's not just going to magically create stuff for it to work with and whatever. So yeah, I mean,
it needs to be, you need to be specific.
Need to be specific, and it's not magic. It just does things that you're already doing. Like we'll talk about today, the Figma thing. I mean, maybe that gets a bit crazy. That's probably level 3 when you talk about that sort of stuff. But really, all you want to do is you want to get stuff from that someone's developed into your Figma design. Like you were doing that anyway, you just might have done it in a roundabout way. You might have downloaded the HTML or whatever it is, but you're just replacing things you're already doing. And I think that if you can understand that without thinking about AI, those are the foundational elements to understanding AI. It's like, it's not doing anything magic. It's not doing anything that you weren't already doing. It's just doing what you already did, but quicker. And again, get to level 3 and you start to understand that actually it's doing some technical stuff, but it's not much more complicated than that.
So you asked what I've been doing, and I forgot to mention something really interesting. I had a conversation with my neighbor just earlier today about AI, and he's not an AI guy. He does music and he plays dart on the side as a hobby with his friends. And I think they go to a place and they play dart. And I don't know how it happened, but we started talking and he said they have an old software and he has tried to do something with ChatGPT about it because they don't want to do it on paper, and half of it as software, half of it in WhatsApp groups, and half of it on paper. And I was like, this is super easy nowadays. But he tried ChatGPT, which to us, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you use ChatGPT? But I don't blame him. He's not a tech guy. He doesn't, know Lovable. He doesn't know Replit. He doesn't know any of these tools. And he will never probably install Cursor, right? Let alone Claude Code. So I just told him, I said, send me a 10-minute long WhatsApp voice message. I don't care. Make it as long as possible. Explain everything that you need. And then I will put this. I want to put it in a PRD, like transcribe it. And then I said, I will make a list of the features and send it back to you. And if it's fine, I'll just give it to V0 or Replit or whatever, and I'll build it for you. Just like the Drinks app. And it's quite fun. That's the level where we are at. I feel comfortable. Like, it's a small group of friends to make something like this. They probably even don't need like Google authentication or whatever. They will need just some password and something very simple. My dad is back with my son. Give me a second.
So, how's it going? I haven't actually been watching this stream, so hello everyone. We've got 10 people. Give us a like wherever you are. Where are you? Got a couple people on the Cmd+AI YouTube. Give us a like if you're on there. What is he doing? I can see him down the bottom dealing with his whatever it is he's dealing with. What Kabaza was just talking about there is I've got a couple of videos on my personal channel talking about how I take an idea and actually build it into an app, from a discussion with someone. And normally it starts with basically, as Kabaza did, just transcribing it, turning the transcription into a PRD, and then feeding the PRD into an AI, whether it's, I like Replit. I really like Replit as a product to start my projects in. But then I sort of bring it down into Claude Code. Although Kabaza knows this, although I love Claude Code. I really, really like it. but I'm not opposed to using other tools. And I've been using Codex this week, the model, like Codex the app, but also Codex the CLI, mainly to try out the models. Like, at the end of the day, they're all harnesses. I think Claude Code has better quality of life features than any of the other CLIs, hooks, MCPs, that don't take up context. It's a better CLI, to be honest. It's a better app. But saying that, it's not necessarily the best AI for all of the best for the right features and whatever. I was just saying that I've got a couple of videos on that process that you just described of taking someone, what they say, put it into a PRD, put it into Replit. Probably you going to use Replit for that, or are you going to try and brave?
I will use Bolt because bro, we have the subscriptions and we are not using it. So
I've never used Bolt. Never used it.
I want to use Bolt to give it a chance to see how it works. But did you see that comment?
No, I was waiting for you.
Yeah, cool. So, hey folks, do you know, I think he's trying to say, do you know any folks or creators who make good money just by being the creator, not an agency or doing design and stuff like that? So just a creator who makes good money. I don't know. I might know someone.
I come at it from my perspective, right? I don't talk about running an agency. Like, I talk about how to use tools and build things, right? And write code. I'm not a designer, but I make money. I'm not going to say I make good money, but I make money doing the creative stuff. I'd be interested to know what your goal is. Do you want to become a content creator or something? Is that are you just trying to work out whether there is money to be made? Because here's the thing, right? It's triggered something in me that I've noticed recently. There are so many creators who, we've talked about it, the snake oil of here's how to make loads of money and here's how to become successful. And they teach you how to do the thing. And then you look at their own credentials and they are not doing that well themselves. So here's how you make, an easy example, like become a blogger or vlogger or whatever. And then you look at their personal vlogging channel and it's like they're not doing that well. They're just good at teaching you how to do the things. And because there are so many people wanting to learn, they think they're really good content creators. No, you're there's this, I don't know, what would you call it? This kind of fallacy of teaching people how to do stuff that in of itself is a successful niche. But
there are creators who talk about creating. I don't really love that. It's like,
what do you like to hear?
I like it. I like it when a creator, they have something of their own, and then kind of like on the side they talk about being a creator, and not just talking about making content and their content is talking about making content.
Yeah.
And I see a bunch of dudes on Instagram and I watch the content and it's just talking about content, and it's not what I like. Is like, okay, maybe a science communicator, maybe a tech enthusiast, maybe a storyteller, somebody who does something. I came across this woman on Instagram, a video of her about some planets that are like with amazing storytelling, and I went on her YouTube channel and she had like videos on the pyramids, and I'm like, this is good. This is like high quality content, high quality storytelling. I'm like, if she, for example, would talk about creating content and give advice, I'd be like, amazing.
Yeah, people who are really good at it don't actually teach about it, right?
Yeah, so there are few, right? But that's where I would look at learning. Like I would try to learn from those, but also to answer the question, you can make like really good money if you have reach. So these companies, they typically pay you for your reach. Like, and you get that reach by being a good communicator, but by being good at storytelling. And if you're just starting, don't don't get yourself busy with the technicality, with camera, with setup. I even forgot to turn on the lights here. Don't get yourself like don't go on that rabbit hole. Just try to
Unless you
deliver.
enjoy it, of course. A lot of people enjoy that sort of stuff, but it's
Yeah,
not the thing to learn, is it? It's
yeah,
not.
it's not about that's not going to get you views. That's not going to, and it's not just about views. It's when I say views, I don't mean it in a shallow way. I mean it in a way that you connect with people, right? So do something that that interests you and that you can enthusiastically communicate.
Well, it looks like he wants to get into content creation. Ron Wayne wants to get into content creation because not enjoying the agency stuff all too much. I mean, it's one thing. Just be aware that I'm just hitting 10,000 right now. I've been doing this since 2020. That's just under 6 years, because I started around March and June. I've been doing a few little bits and bobs here and there, but 6 years, I would say my journey was pretty slow in comparison. If you can hit on something, then you can grow you can grow very, very quickly. But you need to understand the amount of content that's being uploaded to YouTube, the amount of stuff that just goes unseen, the ones that pop off. A fraction of the people that actually get to a point where they're making money. I don't know whether my timeline is good, whether it's bad, I don't think it's good, but I don't know whether it's bad, or I don't know whether it's average. Some people might take a lot longer. I don't know what the averages are, but the point is, it takes a while. So if you want to do it, start sooner than later, because it takes a while. How long have you been doing yours?
That's what I want to also mention. It's hard to put a number on because I've been doing it on and off. But
when did you decide? When was that first upload?
Probably 2020 or 2019. 5 years ago, like, is my first YouTube video. But I was doing like that's what I want to say. I was putting myself in front of the camera way before that. So it's been almost 10 years of me trying to do it. And believe it or not, so this is like what most people get wrong. People who have not done content creation yet, they don't think about how freaking difficult it is to get in front of the camera and just deliver something. We just forget that. It's not easy at all.
It's not for everyone. People make it look easy. Yeah. If you look at any job, like, there's nothing more exposed than this, YouTube, creating YouTube videos. But if you were to watch anyone in action, they'd make it look easy. And you actually sit down and actually do the thing that they're doing, you find it's a lot harder. I think a lot of people in my day-to-day, they always undermine, they think their job is like the hard one, or their job is the most important one. It's because we fundamentally cannot empathize or appreciate how difficult another person's job is, because everyone just makes it look so easy, Saying that, what was I going to say? What was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say, but to your question, mate, I'm a developer. Like, I have got my own agency. I'm a developer. I've been a developer for 20 years, probably over 20 years now. And I talk about code, and like, I went heavy on the AI stuff in the last year. So I've moved over to transfer, because as a software engineer, my skills are dead now. Do you know what I mean? So I needed to shift. My content needed to shift into AI coding, because coding just doesn't float anymore. No one wants to learn how to code. I still think it's important, mind. I do think it's still important, but yeah. What was that thing I was going to say? Annoying. Never mind. We should move on.
Yeah. We should.
I'm
Cool.
sure it was
Well,
something about on YouTube or something like that, but I don't know.
I want to go with the intro, but first let me turn on the light before it gets really dark here. Still living in Germany.
I think that it's debatable whether no code is too powerful. Like no code tools, I find them really slow and laborious. Although we'll show you something today that makes it a lot easier, but it depends what you're building. If you want to design interesting websites, then yeah, no code is pretty much design. If you want to design interesting marketing sites and e-commerce sites and things like that, then no code is a pretty good tool if design is the way to go. Whereas apps and productivity tools, design is becoming much less important, and learning how to code with AI is becoming more about the way to go. However, you'll be a lot better at AI coding if you know how to code. You know, you just how everything fits together. Like you can vibe it, but you're not going to get anywhere by vibing it. You're not going to get anywhere professionally by vibing it. You need to be at least curious and time, have some fun, like Kabaza's doing. Like have fun creating loads of wacky shit, but then hopefully your curiosity will start being like, well, actually, what's going on here? Because I just remember back to when I first started coding, and I was just copying and pasting stuff from Stack Overflow, from Google, whatever I found, I was plugging it together, and it was a couple of years of that. And then I was like, well, what is going on here? Because it's annoying me that I just don't. This is all magic to me. It frustrated me. So then I started digging deeper. So find your purpose, find your fun, where the fun lies, and then dig deeper. But coding itself, that's not the first thing to go for anymore. I think it probably should be have fun with AI first, and then learn the code side.
I agree.
What were you saying about the intro?
I just said I'm going to turn on the lights and then we'll go with the intro. We have quite a few things to show, so
yeah, let's crack on.
Let's get it started. So this week we got Google Pomelli. We'll see what that is. I don't. Yeah, it's a strange name. The creator of OpenClaw has joined OpenAI. It's a big news. Google and Anthropic came out with their new models. We'll talk about them. And the thing that I'm most excited to show you and talk about is code to Figma, bringing your vibe coded stuff to Figma, which is very exciting. I've done it and I'll show you. And all of this and a bit more in today's episode. This is Cmd+AI. I'm Kavarza.
A little bit more. And I'm Samuel. And this is a week in AI, design, and dev.
Cool. So let me share my screen. Allow to share screen.
Oh my God. This was so funny.
This is, guys, this is the meme of the week. This is a new thing we have, a new section. No, I'm kidding.
That was so cringe.
Yeah, and this is by ChatGPT. Their official. Yeah, this was painful. So, who's this guy? He is the prime minister or like the president of India, bringing everybody to India and like having this AI summit, AI impact summit, showing that how important it is to have everyone, united together. And Sam Altman and Darius, the two biggest like AI CEOs, they are not holding hands actually, and it's so bad.
They refuse to hold hands.
Yeah, they refuse to hold hands. So they are not actually. So they posted this, and this is quite funny because they bought. Well, they didn't buy OpenClaw, but they hired the developer of OpenClaw, and this one they didn't sue him, but they asked him to change the name. which shows like two extremely different approaches. Like one sees the opportunity and like, I need that guy, and the other is like, too close to me, change your whatever. So with that, let's let's talk about the first thing here on our list. I'll copy link and I'll get that ready and we'll talk about it. But we can't hear it. That's fine. We don't need to hear it.
Should I play it so we can hear it?
It doesn't matter. It's like just the music. So, but I need. So this is taking the internet by storm. Everybody is talking about it. It has nearly 17 million views in less than 24 hours. It's insane. This is a new product by Google that essentially kills all product photography. You just upload like a shitty picture of your product that you take with your iPhone. You select a template, it seems like, the things that you want, and then it puts your, like, as we see, it puts your product inside of all these like amazing mock-ups and pictures, all with AI. And yeah, it is quite like a bad day for people who do this type of like product photography. So if it wasn't dead already, this is this is quite good. But a note on that, to me it seems like this is just Nano Banana Pro, but wrapped around like templates and probably like nice prompts and example images and maybe some refinements of the AI. They don't talk about exactly what the model is.
Like you could vibe this, couldn't you?
You could absolutely vibe this yourself. And I feel like a lot of these are really good stationary and like sets of images for the AI to take as a source of inspiration and then add the product instead of whatever product that is there. It's just replacing it. And as we've seen, Nano Banana Pro is extremely good at that. Like I canceled my, I don't know if I should name it ls.graphics. I canceled my subscription after many years. I was subscribed, I think, for 4 years now. Their mock-ups are really good, really beautiful. But now I'm like, man, do I need to pay $100 per year for this when I can just ask any AI to do this? Well,
and presumably you need to edit these, right? You need to skew whatever it is that you're putting into them.
You don't have to skew it. So that's also really nice about it. So I still have my subscription remaining, half of the year.
You pay for the year now, yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad because I really want, it's one of like these strange feelings, like I want to support them as well. Because look, these are so high quality. These are so good. But yeah, AI can now do this. And to answer your question, you just upload your image. So they have the Figma plugin. They have their own tool. You can install it in Photoshop, depending on like the mockup. They have like different ones. You just upload the image or the design, and it just puts it there. It works beautifully. It works just so nicely. Even with, let me show some really complex ones. I know they are like below. They were older. If I find them, yeah. Look at these. Like even with these, you just add your design and it basically works. Things like this, I could imagine being more difficult with for AI, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna use this anymore.
What was that tool that you showcased recently where it was a node-based creation, and you could,
Um,
granted, it was video,
free pick.
3D.
It was free
Yeah,
pick.
it was free pick thing. It reminds me of this Nano Banana wrapper thing. It's not the same. However, it's the output could be used the same way. You know, I've got an image of something and now I want to see it in loads of different product shoot mock-up things. But either way, yeah, I wonder why this got 17 million. I mean, it's good, it's fine, but I'm not blown away by it. Maybe I'm too blindsided by the technicalities or the lack thereof of it, because you could vibe code this. What are people saying in the comments? What are they so blown away by?
I fully agree. I don't know why it has 17 million. Maybe it's just the video, the showcase is just so compelling. It's selling it so good. The examples are just so perfect. Maybe Nano Banana Pro is not an amazing name, and it doesn't, you know, I mean, even this is not an amazing name. I don't know. People are like, this is good. Well, this is didn't work all that well with my product, didn't it? I don't know. So maybe not maybe, we know it doesn't work perfectly fine with small text. It's just, it tries to replicate it, but it might get it a bit weird with small text. But I'm pretty sure if you use like a JSON based prompt, you'll get better results. And this is what I do. I use crazy shit people create. I prompt, like, you know, based on with JSON, and with that everything is just more exact. So yeah.
Anyway, very good. Well, you know, it's going to be used by people. You know, it is what it is.
And we'll see. I'm going to recreate, like, we're in the process of recreating, like redesigning my agency website, and we will need mockups for our case studies. Our main focus is on our case studies. I still have my subscription for this, like the remaining, and we'll see. I'll talk about it if I'm going to continue using a tool like LS Graphics, or AI is going to be enough.
Cool.
Yeah.
Peter Steinberg.
Yeah.
Steinberger. Is it Steinberg or Steinberger? So Sam Altman has announced that Peter Steinberger will be, who's the creator of OpenClaw, will be joining OpenAI in potentially a way to incorporate OpenClaw in ChatGPT, which is great news for Peter Steinberger. Share my screen here.
Yeah. You know that ChatGPT was the fastest growing product ever. And OpenClaw is the fastest growing GitHub project, with like 200 plus K stars in a really short amount of time. It's interesting that this company is acquiring, you know, the fastest growing GitHub project. Well, not a project. They are hiring the guy who made it.
So Peter Steinberger joining OpenAI to drive the next generation of personal agents. So we don't really know what this entails just yet, to be fair. OpenClaw will live in a foundation as an open source project that OpenAI will continue to support. So they're already supporting it, presumably from this announcement here. So great news for Peter Steinberger. I checked out this interview with Lex Friedman, where he talks quite a lot about the decision, because you know, he goes on to describe that he had so many offers from all the major labs when it comes to hiring him, and it was a tough choice. But he doesn't announce it in this video, but he said that that Meta and OpenAI were the two people that he was considering, which is interesting. Maybe from a personal morale perspective, if you didn't know, the journey of Claude Bot, which is what it was originally called, got a cease and desist letter from Anthropic because, there's a part of me that agrees, part of me that kind of disagrees completely, because you've got open code, you've got now open Claude. These, are people getting confused with these because they're openAI? I don't know. However, I did feel like the video that I made about OpenClaw, or Claudebot as it was at that point, I did have to say, and it did confuse me, what has this got to do with Anthropic? What's the ties? Like, I was looking for these ties that just did not exist. And again, from this interview with Lex Friedman, he talks about how his V1 of this was based on he bought like $100 subscription plan to Anthropic and gave it to his friend so that he could use it. And that was the first time he saw someone else and it was like, holy shit, this is a big deal. So the name did come from the fact that it was Anthropic related. It was part of the intentional ecosystem that it gave birth to, basically. Doesn't really matter. That all being said, he went with OpenAI, and he says one of the things that he wanted to maintain or ensure is that OpenClaw remains open source. Does this mean that Meta wanted to not make it closed source, but own OpenClaw? I don't know. However, that was the main thing he wanted to keep, that OpenClaw is open source, and it's part of a foundation. It will be continued to support. A lot of people are saying now that it's downhill. We don't know what the future is, and I'm not necessarily going to speak to those things, but I have faith that actually it will remain an open source project. And you said that he's actually looking to maybe not hire. Maybe you can tell us about that.
So here, as you see, I'm looking for OpenClaw maintainers. If you love open source, have experience with running larger projects, are security minded, and want to help, drop me an email. So he's looking for somebody. He said also in that interview, a lot of people are trying to help, with pull requests. And he says, like, these are prompt requests for a lot of people. It's just like people who don't know coding, but he finds it valuable still for people like us, like me, haven't done pull requests yet, to do it. Sometimes just do it with AI, still like, starting to do it, which is interesting. And now he's looking for somebody more serious, somebody who can help. And apparently a lot of people are DMing and replying here. He's saying, like, send me the email. But yeah, the project, I also saw that is getting updates. Now you can like trigger it from your Apple Watch. So it's moving really fast.
Yeah. And more importantly, I was going to mention as well, these updates, like they're working with a lot of security is obviously the biggest thing that's the worry. And what I noticed, if you go to Claude Hub, you'll see that there is actually security scans that are happening on everything, vulnerability checks. With every update, there are vulnerability patches and fixes, and the system now is working with another ClaudeHub.com.
ClaudeHub.com.
Just type in the URL. Yeah. You're so like Google brained.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. No, it's not there.
Oh, see, there you go.
It's not at ClaudeHub.com. Yeah.
It is ClaudeHub.com. It is Claude. It's with a W.
Claude.
Claude. Yes, exactly. Claude Hub.
Claude, like this.
I can't read it.
No, it's not.
My days. Claude.
Because it's Claw.
Okay.
Okay. Claw,
there we
not
go.
ED. Claw Hub.
Claw Hub. There we go.
ClawHub.ai. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We got
and if you go to browse, I mean, you might be able to see it elsewhere, but I want you to go to browse.
Browse skills.
Oh, actually, do you know what? It's a lot clearer on the mobile. But on the mobile, it shows you like what's in that red button there? Oh yeah, hide suspicious even. I mean, that's a minor feature, but the point is it's a lot of security updates that are going into this thing. So I'm excited about it. And I wonder as well, on a lot of my videos, people and a lot of my TikToks, like people are laughing, being like, haha, until it gets hacked and this and that. And it's like, oh, those people are just gonna drift into like the background, and that everyone's like rejecting this tool because they assumed it's going to hack you, or they hear that it's going to hack you. Nothing has happened yet. Don't get me wrong.
My mic.
Huh? Your mic?
Oh,
your yeah.
My agent.
It's not happened yet, you know. And it's not to say it is still an open source single person vibe code. It's not to say that we freaking don't know that there's risks involved, but it's good to hear that nothing has happened thus far. So yeah.
My next Clawbot agent name will be Jin Yang. You don't know this
Jin Yang,
because this is from Silicon Valley show that you haven't seen yet, but he's a legend. He's really funny. Anyway, so about Peter, another thing that I found really cool from his interview was that he managed to move really fast, even though at the start he was like just playing around with it and just like feeling how it is and maybe sharing it with friends, or like he said, he mentioned he used it while traveling. But once it gained traction, he managed to make updates, to add like Discord, to add like Telegram, to add so much more. He managed to keep up and like basically help with the project growing. And he also mentioned how hard it was to basically, he didn't sleep much because it exploded. They have like 300K plus followers on Twitter. It's crazy. Like the amount of interest that he's getting is insane.
And that's where you start to panic about the vulnerabilities of your application, because you can, you know, I won't lie and say, like, when I release something, there's always that thing in the back of your mind. It's like, have I, you know, it's nerve-wracking, like releasing something out there, because there are people a lot smarter than you and a lot more malicious than you who will try and take down. And what if you've accidentally left something in there? You know, no one is perfect. And when you get successful very, very quickly in any walk of life, when you get that many eyeballs on you, you feel exposed, you feel naked, you feel vulnerable. So I can only imagine the amount of emotional trauma he probably went through, and he's held up pretty well. He seems like a really chilled out, nice, well-meaning guy, you know?
Yeah. So there was also a conversation about him leaving EU, because as you know, he is Austrian, and he had this interview. I think this is like I don't know. This is an Austrian TV media, whatever, and it was painful to watch. I watched it. I don't want to play this because of copyright. I don't know how it is with non-YouTube stuff. But yeah, this interview was extremely painful for me to watch, because the entire time there is no, like, even a single like interest in what can this technology do. Everything is what can it destroy. The whole focus is on how bad this could go, and not on what could it also do right. And he's holding up really well. He's very chill, and he's just explaining the nature of things, like how AI can hallucinate, how AI can be, you know, everything that we know about AI that can go wrong. We know it. It's nothing new. But it seems like in the EU they cannot shift their focus away from that, and it's stuck. Like the EU is stuck in that point. So here he answered. Let me just show the translation. It's easier. Well, starting with this one, it says like Peter had this interview and he's going to OpenAI. Why couldn't EU not hold him, this talent? Why it wasn't about money for him, obviously, right? That's the tweet. And he answers, he says, in the USA, most people are enthusiastic. In Europe, I get insulted. People scream regulation and responsibility. And if I really build a company here, then I get to struggle with things like investment protection laws, employee co-determination, and paralyzing labor regulations. At OpenAI, most people work 6-7 days, 6-7 days a week and get paid and get paid
How old are you?
accordingly. Yes, I know. I know.
Flame him in the comments.
My younger brother, he's 18 and he shakes his head when I do this. 6-7 days a week and get paid accordingly. With us, that's illegal, which is true, and it's very interesting. I understand. Okay, we need to be responsible, and regulations. I'm not necessarily against them, but we
don't need to be babysat.
We have too many of them. Like,
yeah,
you cannot do anything. And I've seen this with my own eyes times and times again. I've been living in Germany for 10 years. I see many people trying to start a business. They get stuck at even the footer notes that they have to make for their websites, and all the cookies and all the protection laws, and they can't even start
exhausting
focus on their business and service and like learning, because the law is just insane. Anyway, so there is a conversation around that, and it's, it is what it is. Europe obviously is not able to have somebody like him, which is sad in a way. I mean, yeah. As most of you know, this is another tweet that I found interesting. As most of you know, I'm from Germany, so I was able to watch the entire interview with Peter Steinberger on Zeit im Bild. It was incredibly painful, yes. Not because of Peter's answer, but because the journalist questions, typically German, Austrian, almost exclusively revolved around whether we should be afraid of AI, whether data privacy is being protected, being respected, what dangers OpenClaw poses, and so on. Yeah, that was basically the whole interview. The hottest topic in the world was talked down. Instead of sparkling curiosity and enthusiasm among viewers, the program ultimately only stirred up more anxiety and resentment, a damning indictment of Europe. Which is, we see the result. He left. Yeah. There is a balance.
Yeah, like we do need to take it seriously, but there's no that you can do it in such a way, surely, where it's like, this is fantastic. Just having a balance of the good and the bad. Do you know what I mean? But I haven't seen the interview. I'd like to see the interview, but
it's in German, and I mean, I'm not native speaker, and he has an accent. I don't know if it's an Austrian accent, but it's the interview is pretty. You need to watch it, especially if you live in Europe or you care about the future of Europe. The next OpenAI won't happen in Europe. Just like this interview just kind of shows the vibes around here. And like a few minutes ago, I mentioned in a fun way, I mentioned this. Jane Yang, a character in this show Silicon Valley. And I think that show is still extremely relevant, and it's also very relevant to this topic that we are having here about Europe and the vibe around creating companies. Like, this show pictures Silicon Valley so good, so finely done. there is this guy, not Jane Yang. There is another guy who has a place, and he allows other people to live with him as roommates, and they don't have to pay. They don't have to pay rent. They just pay him a share of the company that they are building. So he lets people live with him, but he interviews them as a tech co-founder or something like this, as like investor. So he invests like 10% in them by just allowing the companies to exist in his in his house. So that is
Mummy
very.
and Daddy pays for it probably.
I think he has the house from, I don't know, like previous. I don't remember where he has the house from, but there is this enthusiasm about creating, and there is. It's not about work-life balance. It's about you want to build something so badly that you let it consume you, like what Peter did here. Yes, he was not like programming for 3 years. By the way, that's also very interesting. He built something for 13 years. He left. He sold it. He left for 3 years, vanished. He came back and he found love again for programming, and he let it consume him. Like he found this idea. It was interesting to him, and he worked on it. And the issue with Europe is you can't build a company around that idea. You can't have a company, a bunch of people coming together, working like that. It is illegal to do that. It is. There are so many issues with regulation and whatnot. So watch that show. Watch that show, and you'll see how Europe is not that.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool.
Well, from one Claude to the next, Anthropic just dropped Sonnet 4.6, which is absolutely killing it on the it's beating Opus 4.6 in some tasks, specifically financial analysis and office tasks. It's kind of killing it. But I thought this intro was quite weird. Claude Sonnet is our most capable. Sonnet model. I missed that. It was Sonnet model. Yeah. Also features a 1 million context size window in beta. Now we've had this in Opus in the past. Now they've got it in Sonnet, and I think you can even, if you in Claude Code, if you /model, you actually see it in the what do you call it, in the models list. I'm hoping I didn't set some sort of environment variable in there to see it. Hopefully you will see it if you see that /model, which is great. Hopefully they're not just like Google, who just give you all of that 1 million context. Hopefully it's been tested and you're actually able to maintain some level of alignment in the, not AI alignment as in task alignment, in that flow, in that context. But anyway, pricing remains the same. You know the drill. Sonnet 4 is not cheaper. They just keep it the same price, which is kind of annoying. But this is performing marginally better than Opus 4.5, which was released in November, which is super interesting because Opus 4.5 changed the game. And I know we say that a lot, but the amount of people who were AI enthusiasts still didn't accept AI coding until Opus 4.5 came along is mind-blowing. There was a huge adoption of AI coding when Opus 4.5 came along. And the fact that it's now cheaper, and it's the default, they say in here somewhere, it is the default model in under Claude AI, the free version, is pretty cool, pretty remarkable. So they mentioned about computer use, which is becoming very important, especially as we just spoke about OpenClaw. Kind of interesting how it's so high up in this article here. Yeah. But yeah, they're remarking on the computer use, and you can kind of see its trajectory here. And here's some of the benchmarks. And like I say, financial analysis and office tasks coming out on top. Maybe there's a speed thing involved in that. I don't know. But still, Opus is the best, obviously. Funny how no one's beat Opus 4.5 with agentic coding yet. I mean, we're talking about
Interesting.
point one of a difference. So, but it's still there. And scale tool use, that's quite a big difference. Well, I say big difference, 3%, or whatever it is. But yeah. And this is also another interesting graph. This is the Vend bench, and we've got a video on the Vend bench. We spoke about the Vend bench, which is actually a vending machine that it's told to run to maximize profit. Now you can see it had a bit of a head, a bit of a sketchy start, and it's wiggling around, and then you see it pull away, and then woof, flicks off to the end there. So there's definitely some. I think they even say it in here. There's some early investment that it did, which you can see it drop there because it dropped the balance. It invested early to make the gains, in the latter stages of the experiment, which kind of goes into the agentic financial analysis there. So yeah, I mean, nothing more to really say on it. I'm not gonna boil an ocean here. It's just nice to know a new player, new update has been released. Yeah. Anything to add on that?
No, that's cool. I'm excited to use it and give it a try.
Yeah, because you're a Claude Code fiend now, aren't you?
Yeah, I used my current session 99%, and it's going to reset in about 1 minute.
Waiting by the clock. Are you an Opus person? You seem like you would be an Opus person.
Yeah. I just ultra max everything.
Yeah, you do. You are a maximalist. So in the same breath, literally last night, Gemini 3.1 Pro gets released, which Google seem to do this. They wait and they wait and they wait, and then they come out with something that this is actually kind of killing on all the benchmarks. Humanities last exam, ArcAGI 2 is beating, not only is it beating 3, obviously, but it's beating Opus 4.6 on a lot of those things. Sweetbench verified again. They're actually reporting 80.8, whereas Anthropic say 80.9. Or was it? I don't know. Can't remember. Anyway, I've never been a fan of Gemini as a coding tool at all. But saying that, I do use it on all of my NAN tasks. I think it's a great, just generic AI, it's great at writing. I think it's good at writing. I think it's good at analysis. I think it's good for scientific purposes, which is kind of, why I use it for sort of administration tasks. So we'll talk about the animation stuff. Yeah, do you want to talk about the animation stuff as well? 2 seconds.
Yeah, we have.
So I've got it here. So we have this. Oh, I'm not sharing. There we go.
So yeah, here they shared.
Hang on, was I sharing my screen going through that Gemini 3 post?
I don't think so, but you were sharing. Yeah.
What? Hang on, I'm going to go back on the live. I'm going to go back. Oh man, come on! You got to do better than that. I wasn't sharing my screen.
I thought, I was preparing the next thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
go
for it.
So they are also sharing these animations done with Gemini 3.1 Pro versus the old one, and it's getting somewhere usable, I would say. So the past animations, you see it's clunky. It doesn't really make much sense. It's not beautiful. And you would say, okay, it looks cool, but I'm not going to use it. The new version, it's like, it is getting usable. Maybe not quite yet, but it is getting there. I mean, you would pay an animator to do this in Lottie to embed it in your website. I don't know, like $500, depending on the market and the quality. And now the AI can do this. This is, to me, it is impressive. And some of these I could imagine maybe a bit more minimal version of them being usable straight out of the AI. I don't know how much of, like, I don't know what exactly the prompts were, but I would be fine with like giving some design direction to make it better, and not just prompt it away, just design direction, make it better, and animate it. That animation part is very impressive.
It is good. I mean, like I would, yeah. I mean, I said to you earlier, like a normie would look at this and be like, "What? It looks absolutely shit." I mean, but we have to remind ourselves on what's being done here, and yeah, it's a free animation, so why not take it, right?
Yeah, and maybe the designs are not good. That's why I'm a bit hesitant. The designs are not amazing. Maybe it's just a bit too childish, maybe too cartoonish, maybe it is a bit outdated, the style. But maybe if you could get like a more nicer, more modern style and animated, the animations, like the physics of the animations, look really spot on. It has details. It has like parallax. It has like some sort of like understanding of the physics. So that part to me is very very interesting, and yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what model it was. I think it is Gemini that Replit uses for its designs, is UI designs. I think it's I do think this in hindsight now, I'm thinking, I think Gemini is really good at UI design, like a bit of a underdog. Because I mean, look at this now, you know, it's and I remember like doing a test inside of Replit and it being quite creative when it comes to UI design. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be insane. What was that one? Claude be like, you know, it's not going to be the same as a designer coming up doing loads of research, figuring out. It's not. You're not going to beat that, of course. But for someone who just wants something a bit less AI generated and a bit more creative, I think Gemini's your go-to be honest. So yeah, and Replit are streaming now. Look. So you can vibe code your video. Oh, because they I won't. So that now they've got an animation platform, so you can vibe code your animation, which is interesting.
That's cool. Yeah.
Is it using Gemini?
Is it like Remotion?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's same output, right? It's the same output. I don't know how it does it, but maybe it's using Gemini under the hood.
Why is there not something like this for GSAP?
For GSAP, well, Remotion,
like Remotion for GSAP. Is it using GSAP?
Probably. But why does it matter whether it's because the output's the same, right?
Yeah, if the output, GSAP has like tools for like, I mean, for scroll-based animations, for like SVG morphing. So there are like these GSAP plugins that are like specific for these things.
I'm sure you can install GSAP on Remotion. You know, I'm sure. All it's doing is, well, I don't know. I mean,
these are React components, right?
The React components, yeah. But like, yeah, I don't know. You'll have to just have the play, but I'm pretty sure that it can.
Yeah, but I mean, how difficult is it to record? I don't know how that part, the technicality of that works, but how do you record the browser screen and export a video?
Well, that's Remotion's job.
Yeah, so because like the rest is just vibing with GSAP, you know, you could vibe anything with GSAP, and the AI could also handle creating the HTML elements and the styling, and then there is a layer on top that captures that essentially.
I'm guessing it's leveraging the get next video frame API in JavaScript. So it kind of freezes it, saves that snapshot, plays the next frame, takes a snapshot, plays the next frame, and at the end of it, we'll just put them all together in a .mp4 or something like that. So all rendered on some sort of canvas or something. You know?
Now mix that with Theater.js. Is it Theater.js? Yeah,
I'm not too sure.
That would be so interesting. Yeah, it is Theater.js. So just as an idea, I mean, Theater.js is used for Three.js.
Yep.
So it has like this. I know it's like shit quality, but doesn't matter. It is like a timeline similar to what you have in After Effects, and you can play with the speed ramp and the easing, and you can drag. And imagine all of these could be your different components that you animate. This is a plugin like this with Three.js, with GSAP, with FreeMotion on top. That like you could create like any sort of video and animations. It could get really interesting. So yeah, it is a bit busy, the UI, if you don't know video editing, but if you have used After Effects, you will feel right at home.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway,
cool. Right, quick one. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. So I can't confirm this. It's a LinkedIn post from a Twitter post. 4% of GitHub commits are now written by AI, specifically Claude code. What was the statistic we read out like a few months ago, which basically saw a quarter of GitHub's entire user base was joined in the first quarter of January. Do you remember that?
No, not really.
I think there's something like
I think 20-30%.
Yeah, something like that. Like 25. I think GitHub. I'm going to throw numbers out there. That might sound crazy, but I think GitHub has like 25 million users, and like 8 million of them were discovered in January or something crazy like that. Like it was a large number. And then thinking that 4% now is, and projected north of 20%. So he's extrapolated the trajectory, and apparently 20% will be end of 2026. So this, thinking about what Anthropic said, that most code will be written by AI, should you learn code, this and that, like it's writing code, lines of code is not the output anymore, is it really? It's the system, it's the product, it's the output.
You're probably going to start now. Like previously, you would start at the very bottom. You'd be like hello world, right? Like printed or like console log, depending on the language. That's where you would start, and then you would build like on top of that component by component.
Was I not sharing my screen again?
No. Yeah, I thought like it is a short one. You just explained it. It was fine.
Okay, fine. So this is the Twitter post. This is the Twitter post, and it's a LinkedIn thing, and this is the stat here. So
okay,
north of 20% by the end of 2026. Okay, cool.
So previously you would start at the bottom and then build up your knowledge, and then like later on you would build bigger apps. Now you're kind of like starting at top, like you're building some app, and it's getting really easy to build an app. And as you get better, you're probably just going to dive deeper and understand more like what is going on. Like maybe next thing is the structure and the technologies that your AI is using, and you become aware of that. And then you become maybe aware of your components that you are building, and then maybe a bit more about like the classes and the scopes and maybe syntax sometime. And I feel like this is the route that professional, like the next generation professionals will go.
Yeah, I think like again, like understanding the code is still really crucial. Like, but it's more so about the systems that pull it all together and whatever. Like, and then the best of the best, the Netflix, the Google, these massive companies where every single kilobyte matters. They're going to need those people top tier who really understand the code, because you can't get away with failing. I mean, Twitter is fucking doing it, isn't it? Getting away with sloppy software. But yeah,
even that is not, as bad as my vibe coded app, right? It's still like people there who understand the code. It is getting sloppy and it is like lower quality, but like your point there completely holds. On the level you have, where you have like YouTube, where you have like billions of videos being played. That's a different problem to solve, and it's also not something that AI is really like has any experience on or has like enough data on. Like these things are so unique, and you need humans who deeply understand the system. AI comes to play, from my understanding, in like searching the database and maybe come up with like new perspectives, like an assistant to the human who can listen to the AI, read it, and like have a clear understanding of is this actually true what the AI is saying, or is it like just nonsense? So you still need that. And we kind of know this from also this thing that Anthropic did with what they said. They said they let Claude Code to write a C compiler.
Oh yeah, they run it for like a week or 2 weeks straight.
2
didn't
weeks,
they?
yeah, and they spent like $20,000 of like API tokens worth on it, and they said it kind of works. And there was this video from Primeagen basically saying like, no, like this is just like bullshit marketing. It is deceiving because you're doing it on something like completely open source, and you're not like completely walking away, and it's not actually like working all that much, and it's not, let's not even talk about the performance and things like this. So there are a lot of like asterisks around it working, and even that is around an open source project that already exists, and the AI, has been trained on it heavily. So yeah, for that level, humans still beat AI.
Yeah. The big one, code to canvas.
Yeah. We didn't agree on an intro. You have your intro, and I have one of mine. Let me also, I'm grabbing my screen and like putting things together, things that I will need.
Yeah, because we spoke about this at the beginning of the show, this idea that this is a very, very clever way to use AI. In my opinion, it might be more simple than I'm anticipating.
Okay, so let me get a few things ready. I don't know if I should show the announcement as well. Just a second. Claude, maybe if the announcement is nice, I will show that as well. Yeah, I'll all right, I'm ready. So this is probably the biggest news for product designers and developers. Now you can vibe code or like program your front end, whatever app that you are building, and then after building it, bring your code and visualize it inside of your Figma. And then a designer can work on that already existing, functional app, change the designs, and then send it back to Claude via the Figma MCP, and then continue working from there. So I can let me actually just make sure that I got this right, because I think this is big. Maybe I'll try it again. I feel like I rushed it too fast. You're muted, but it's fine.
I know, I was texting.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm texting my design friend Susie because I told her about Code to Canvas at the beginning of the week or whenever it launched, because we've been talking about a workflow that for a project that I think this will benefit from. So I want to make sure she's checked it out.
Okay.
I might send her a
Claude
link to the
Code.
stream.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
All good. I'll just do it again. Claude Code to Figma. This is probably the biggest news both for product designers and also for developers. The bridge between designing and developing has shortened again, and this time it is becoming very interesting how you can collaborate as a designer, as a developer with each other from your code base all the way to your Figma and then back to your code base. So with this new update, you can code something and then send it to Figma, and then the designer can change the design inside of Figma and then send it back to Claude. And I have a demo to show you. Okay, let me come up.
Just to jump in here as well, like it does solve a big problem that a lot of people are starting with the prototype, starting with the vibe coded prototype, which doesn't care about design, which just gets the prototype up and running. And then it's a way of how do we now synchronize that process of applying the design and then getting it back onto the vibe coded prototype. And this solves that.
I have something to show on that as well. So just to show you what it can do, what you see on my screen is an app that I'm creating for Webflow users, potentially for more people, to manage your website's images from this app. Now, I didn't design this inside of Figma. I just vibe coded this. There are many design issues with it, though. There are many small things that I want to change, and prompting it is just like painful. With this new update, I just asked Claude Code to send all of my screens. Like when I say all of my screens, I mean like when I click edit, this is a different, component. All of these and all of the different states, like the hover states, the select states, everything, send it to Figma. And here's the result. It just sends everything to Figma.
And you can click in there, you can change things. It's identical.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not perfectly identical. Because it creates, so here's how it works. It creates this HTML structure, and then from this HTML structure, it like copies it to Figma. And for that, you need the plugins, and I will show that as well, how you can get it set up and running. So here I have my Claude, and I just want to say, do it again. Do it.
Is this Claude again? Code? Presumably it uses Claude Code, Claude Desktop, probably called Cowork, to be honest, but it's just an MCP, right?
Yes, this is an MCP and a plugin. And that's the thing. There is this new plugin thing. And by the way, this is how it works. And now it opens my project in a new tab, and you see this select element to capture. And now I can like hover over these elements. I can tell it to directly send it to my Figma, or I can do it like this. I can, let's say if I'm interested in, by the way, look like these views, if I'm interested in one of these or this section, I can just click it, and now it sends it to Figma. It takes a little bit. It takes a little bit to send it, but the whole point here is, if I wanted to tell my designer to fix my design, how would I do it? I would have to take a screenshot, send it to him, and he would have to like recreate everything. He doesn't have to do this anymore. He can, do it like from here. In fact, we did this for a client. Here is a client we did this for 2 months ago. It's painful to think that these are screenshots. They sent us screenshots of their app because they were building it. Developers were building the functionalities, and they were not caring too much about the design first. They wanted to get it up and running. They sent us the screenshots, and based on those screenshots, we came here and we made designs. Like everything here, we had to like recreate the frames, which is now the old way of doing it. It's so time consuming. And I messaged my client and I said, like, check this new tool. Like, if they want to redesign something, or if they implement a new feature, they don't have to send us a screenshot. They can send us directly the component inside of Figma.
Yeah.
We design it, and once we design it, here's something cool. So this is something very simple, but I haven't seen anybody talking about it. When you're in Figma, you can go to Figma, the dev mode, and here under the MCP, you have this copy example prompt. It's nothing crazy. It just says implement this, and it has this link that is like a specific link to whatever you click on. And I found this to be very helpful. Actually, in my example, I went in and let me, if I can find it, like for this slider, I used a component library. I select a slider, I changed it to the style I want. I copied the prompt, gave it to Claude, and it did it perfectly.
Nice.
So that was really nice for me to say, the output from the AI, I don't like it. I go to the one that I like, send it, and it executes it perfectly fine. So
I think what will really help, can you break down the different components that make up this process? Like, what do you need to download? How can someone get up and running with this?
Yeah, I will get that in a second.
Because I think it's pretty clear what problem this solves, and yeah, it's really cool, really handy. Because it used to be that you would start with the design, and you need to pick your battles, because some apps need you to think about the UX. Maybe there's something really complicated about it. Maybe there's very specific needs. Maybe it needs to follow something that has already been created for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whereas there are tons of projects that are going to benefit from just starting out with a shitty AI coded, well, not shitty, sorry, just an AI coded, a vibe coded prototype that the client can actually use. It makes so much more sense for so many projects just to do that and then think about the design later on. Case in point is the project you and I have been exposed to recently, where we will start with the vibe coded prototype. They can see that it works, they can use it, and it's like, okay, now while you're using it, we're going to go and take it and we're going to design the heck out of it,
Yeah. So in order to get this working, you have to do two things. One is the Figma MCP. The Figma MCP install. Let me actually bring this up as well. I mean, it's so simple. I just asked my Claude to install it. I haven't even used this. I just asked my Claude.
We'll leave links down below, so you can install the MCP. And technically, this could be installed in Cursor. This could be installed in Codex. It doesn't need to be Claude, right? It's just an MCP.
So, I can show this. So to do all of that, you come to your Claude or Codex or whatever, and you ask it to install your MCP. Now, if I list my MCP, you see that I have here, I have the Figma MCP already connected and installed. Just ask your AI to install it. And then we have this Figma plugin thing that is the code for it is here. You just paste this inside your editor, or you can ask Cursor to install it. Just paste this in, and now you have to also authenticate it. That is also important. You authenticate your Figma workspace, and you're good to go. You connect these two, and you can now send things between these back and forth. And you can even design potentially with this, because it is the MCP. You can generally use it.
So what does the plugin do then? Because that's where I'm lost, and this is where it becomes Claude specific, because Claude, other things don't have the concept of plugins.
Yeah.
What is this responsible for?
It is I'm not sure, because it says the MCP. See, it is like all about the MCP. So here for Figma, Claude MCP add, this is the MCP. I'm not sure, but I did it. I did it as it was said in the post. I just added this to my Claude and it installed it, and it
maybe
worked.
This is the thing that runs the server, so you can go in and click, and then this communicates, because the MCP is there to communicate from Claude Code to Figma, right? That's the back and forward. It's the push and pull between Claude Code and Figma, which, by the way, you need a paid Figma account to access dev mode, to access the MCP. So there's the connection between the two. And I think the plugin is the thing that springs up a server of your app and allows you to click around. That's what I reckon.
Yeah, well, from here it says Figma Claude plugin directory. So I think this is probably just coming here and installing the MCP, and maybe more.
Maybe, yeah.
At the end of the day, it is very simple. You can do none of that and just send the links to your AI and say, install that for me. You could do that as well.
Yeah, but it looks like from here, I'm just seeing on the tweet, to get started, install the Figma MCP server, and then you install the plugin. So actually the plugin contains the MCP.
So as you see here, it worked. It brought the UI part that we clicked on.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it. I already asked my AI, and now it says it timed out, but it worked. To put every state in like one view, and from here I'm like entering this phase of like refining my product, because it already works. I'm already pulling data from a Webflow project, CMS and non-CMS, and I can do a bunch of things that I want to do. It's kind of crazy that I vibed this into existence. I can like edit something. It didn't work. I'm in the middle of building it, but it works. I can upload the things back to Webflow and all of that. So I want to also talk about something that a lot of people might like, they might not have a clear understanding for. So why is this useful? A lot of people might think that the process of designing, it is going, or like building an app, it is going from design to dev, just like that. That's probably what people think. Like, you design it in Figma and then you build it. But that's, like, at least in my experience, it's pretty much never the case. What you do is you go from dev to design, you build something, and then you fix the designs, and then you go back to dev, and then you go back to design, and then you do the same thing over and over again. And this is what I'm calling like this zigzag approach, that you're constantly like passing between these two states. And that's why like the best people in this space are like the devs who understand design, or like the designers who understand dev, who can like connect this or like shorten this bridge. But yeah, and this tool is making this much simpler. Like, it to me, it seems like with this, the developers and the designers don't have to do much of like manual work anymore. This is more like the AI is taking care of like the legwork, like the layouts, the layers, like the simple stuff, and the designer can come in with like strategic thinking for the flows, maybe the components, maybe there's like something about accessibility, maybe there's something about creativity. So the designers can focus on that instead of the layers, or naming the layers, or creating the auto layout. It's already all being created. Same for the developer. That's why I'm so excited about it, because to me, it's not replacing my designer, like my actual designer in my team. This is like enabling him. Now I can give him work, and I feel like I feel like it's so much easier for me to give him something and he can just take it and start working on it, instead of me thinking, oh, if I give him this task, it's going to take so much time to just set it up, or just to understand it, or like just to list everything. Now it happens all in like minutes. So yeah.
Very cool. So to sidestep from this, right, what does this mean for charging for a website? Like if someone comes to, or sorry, not a website, an app, right? Could be a website, but it's more than likely going to be an app. What do you reckon? How do you reckon this changes things there? Because, like, you know, the development traditionally, when someone comes to me and says they want an app, the actual development costs become very vague, because it's like, well, we don't know what we don't know what the design is going to be, we don't know what the features are going to be, and this and that. So you sort of, what I've tended to do is give a rough sort of figure based on what we think is going to be there. We let the design and the features flesh itself out after some meetings and whatever, and then you can start to solidify the development costs. Or you take a punt and you're just like, yeah, it's going to cost this much. Does this mean then the design itself becomes a bit more of a vaguer scoping or price or whatever for the client? What do you reckon?
I don't feel like it's getting vaguer, but I feel like it will get more important to do the branding and the positioning and strategic thinking and things like that. And I don't think at the end of the day it's going to make it much cheaper for the client. And it's not in a bad way. It's just that the client won't be paying for me and my designer to basically draw rectangles, right? They will be paying us maybe the same amount, but maybe even less, but to do more important work and to do it faster. Like, so much of the work would just go into this like early steps of creating these layouts. And I think with all of that, being eliminated, the work can get faster, it can get cheaper for the client. And I think it is a bit more clear, because now I can ask my client, in order to get a quote from me, just send me every screen and every state that you have. And they can just do it like that.
But what if they don't have anything? That's not what I'm asking. If they don't have anything, like they're literally just like, hey, we want to build something.
Yeah, but it's still getting cheaper, right? It is getting still cheaper, because we can like come up with something like an MVP much faster.
But what I'm asking for is not how cheap it could be. £1 million, right?
I understand. Yeah.
How do you charge that person, in terms of, do you say, does the price on the design become vaguer because you don't know what you'll be designing? Or
I don't think it's different from before.
Because if it's completely greenfield and I don't know what the app is that we're going to be building, like, but clients want the price for the app. It's like, well, we don't know what especially if you're part of the strategic side, right? It's best to, and here's the thing, right? I understand. I mean, this is a debate that will happen forever and ever and ever. But like, I understand the difficulty in someone saying, look, if you don't know what you're going to build, then we need to run the strategy. It makes sense to run that completely priced, completely separate to the website. Like, don't even think about how much the website is going to cost to design and develop, because we don't know what we're going to build. So we do the strategy first and run that at a fixed price or whatever.
Yeah.
And then after that, and then after that, you say, okay, we're going to design it, but, well, I suppose you know a bit more, but like the prototype, the design, it might come up with certain, let's say animations as a stupid, simple example. Obviously in apps, animations don't really come into play, because you're really talking about integrations and things like that. Maybe some sort of complex integration comes up through the design process. You don't want to quote for the development, because the design or the UX could turn over some really intricate features that you haven't yet figured out, So then, but point is, the development is such a vague thing. It's so difficult to price development. Yeah, I understand that when someone comes to you and says they want to build an app, they're just like, but I need to know how much is it going to cost you. It's like, well, I don't know how much it's going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but I don't feel like it is going to be different from the past. It is always the question of like, what do you want to build? And what is changing now with AI is just some of the steps are getting faster. But if you look at the entire thing, it's not like 10 times faster. You go for more complex stuff, and you go for like more ambition goals. And I think that is going to make the price at the end of the day similar to how it was before.
Cool.
And regarding the quote thing, it is like custom in many other industries for you to charge the client for the proposal, for the quote that you make. It's not like free everywhere. Like they might need, like in many industry, they might come to your house and like inspect things and go and like plan things and come up with a quote. They are going to charge you. They will tell you, okay, we will charge you this much just for the quote. And then you decide if you want to do it or not. I guess in this case, we with experience, we can say like a ballpark, like it's going to be between 20 and 100K. So the client knows it's not going to be over 200K, right? Something like that. So with all that being said, I think it's not too different from the past.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a cool feature. Cool. I'm looking forward to try. It's gonna be it's a guarantee.
I'm going to use yes.
It's a yes from me.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's wrap this bad boy up, because there's been some major Claude Code policy updates from Anthropic, which has affected our old boy OpenClaw. Mostly affected our old boy OpenClaw. To be honest, and I think this has been brought about by our old friend OpenClaw. Oh, that was embarrassing. Basically, this is a kind of summary of all of the tweets. Using OAuth tokens obtained through Claude free Pro and Max accounts in any product, tool, or service, including the Agent SDK, is not permitted. Is not permitted. Now, Tariq here is confirming that nothing is changing about how you can use the Agent SDK and Max subscriptions. It's getting more and more confusing. And he going here, we want to encourage local development and experimentation with the Agent SDK and Claude P, which is a way of prompting Claude from the command line outside of Claude Code. The point is, if we come to this thing here, free Pro and Max plans is intended exclusively for Claude Code and Claude AI. So they're subscriptions, because they're a huge discount on, the API usage. So they are only intended for Claude Code and Claude AI. And presumably Claude Co-work, but they need to clear that up. It is not permitted and constitutes. Sorry. I clicked on one of the links there. In any other product or service, including the SDK, is not permitted and constitutes as consumer is against their TOCs. But this basically means that what a route to using OpenClaw is, you could use it through your Claude Code Max plan, which we spoke about at the beginning with that was the whole Peter's naming of Claude bot and all the rest of it. You just can't use it. And I actually started noticing this. I was getting API blocking and things like that, and I didn't really know what it was. But just so happens that I was interested in moving on to Minimax, which I literally just released a video during this stream talking you through how you can install Minimax subscription with OpenClaw. And I'm getting really good results with Minimax, to be honest. I'm not into the personality. You're into the personality, right? Of OpenClaw.
No, I'm fine with it being like short and just do it. Yeah,
You can prompt all this in. You can prompt all this into your soul.md and this and that, but the out the box personality is something people do enjoy from Claude. I don't care. I just want it to get the fucking job done. You know? Yeah. So yeah, I've set up Minimax. I paid $10 a month for my Minimax plan. I'm going to see how that scales up. But if you want to learn how to set that up, I've got a video on my channel, which my link is there. But this is yeah. But the bigger question here, the bigger conversation that's happening here is Anthropic are really creating a lot of enemies by creating this walled garden approach, this Apple-like approach to all their tools, their services. And again, going to that conversation with Lex Friedman, Peter Steinberger says that in this world, I mean, I understand both sides of the conversation, as I normally tend to always do. But in this time of uncertainty and discovery and curiosity, when you've got Anthropic really locking things down and not open sourcing their software, DMCAing open code and this, all these companies and Claude Code, obviously, Claude Bot.
Yeah.
They're creating enemies for themselves and creating an ecosystem of secrecy and privacy. And I think that's rubbing people up the wrong way. I hate capitalism, right? But I also see that this is the way it needs to be done. They are on track for becoming a profitable company before OpenAI. So there's obviously method to the madness, but you can't deny that this is rubbing people up the wrong way. And this is just another example of them being like, no, because all of the other accounts, OpenAI, you can use OpenAI's Codex plan with OpenClaw, with open code. You can use Minimax, obviously, GLM, all of they don't care about how they're getting money at the end of the day. But it's just such a huge discount from the API usage, because all of these other coding plans are not the API pricing is not as expensive as Anthropic. So who knows?
They are destroying their relationship with developers, which is, I don't know, it sounds very stupid. It is very stupid, because who loves open code, not open code,
it's so confusing, isn't it?
After confusing. 2 hours of streaming, like developers love Claude Code, and Anthropic is destroying this relationship. It's really stupid what they are doing, and I don't understand why are they being this harsh on people for doing this. Are people like using way too much of the the subscriptions? Because the subscription, the $200 gets you roughly around like $3,000 worth of API. So you pay 200, but the actual, like, if you use it to its limit, it's like 3K, which is crazy. That's why like it's so much more worth to use like the $200 subscription compared to using something like Cursor. And it's quite unfair to Cursor, because Cursor has to pay the API cost, but when you don't use Anthropic models through Cursor, when you use them directly, you are paying them like much less. And they're trying to lock this down as much as they can. And I'm not sure because people are abusing it, or it's just that they're trying to be Apple, and it doesn't make sense to be Apple in this in this industry. Like AI, you see, like you can just change whatever tool that you use just like that. It's so easy to switch. They can't build walls. That's my point. Like you cannot build walls with AI, because the nature of the product doesn't allow you.
But this is something, actually, I'm going to mention Webflow, right? Because this is the thing that I really dislike, or not dislike, that's the wrong word, because there are benefits to Webflow encapsulating you in their walled garden. However, the internet and web technologies are based on open standards and cross-pollination and interoperability, which these walled garden approaches just don't work with, right? I understand that they need to start somewhere, and maybe, well, I'll finish what I was going to say. It could be a question of subsidization, because a lot of people pay those $100 plans and don't actually use the tokens that they offer you.
Yeah.
Claude Code makes Open Code makes damn sure you use those tokens, because it's using them without your prompt. You're not it's just churning away, it's just doing stuff, and it's quite token hungry on top of that. So they're making less profit because people are actually using up their $200-$100 a month plan. So it could also be that. But back to the Webflow thing. Like, it helps when you, and Replit is also another example. It helps especially non-techie people to come in and just know that their database is being taken care of, their hosting's being taken care of, domain names, all this sort of stuff, the tool itself, they know they can just log into one platform and use it. That's great. But when you start to need more from it, it doesn't scale that well. It doesn't scale well when you can't use a different auth system or connect to a different database, because they're just so locked down, And I know we're talking about Anthropic and their policies here, but it may very well extend there. I'm not smart enough to know otherwise.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
They might be locking it down just to learn. They might just be like, let's just keep a lid on things. Let's see how things play out, and you never know. Their master plan might be to open up everything, but they're very cautious. They're a very cautious company, so we could see a complete openness when things start to play out, when they've reached profitability, when we've figured all this shit out. But I don't know.
For now, I'm gonna be using both. I wanted to cancel my ChatGPT subscription, the $20. I'm not doing it yet. I mean, the Codex app allows me to build so much, so I'm just gonna keep having both for now.
Yeah, I don't know, because you can't argue with the price of Codex. $20, so and I'm getting okay usage. I had an intense project that I needed to get done over the course of a couple of days, and I was really excited to learn a bunch of stuff, so I really fucking hammered it. I had 3 agents going off and a 4th agent overlooking the 3 agents and this and that. I used it very heavily. I couldn't do that and I dreamt of code and agents last night because I was so heavy on it yesterday. I've used up 50% of my week's quota already in that. That all being said, the next price jump is $200, so maybe $100 for Claude Code is the way to go.
Yeah, who knows? I could says this, by the way, like, it is so context heavy when, like, for your brain to have like 4 agents running and actually keep them busy, read what they are doing, read the output, prepare the next, because like at the end of the day, you are building something that would take 2 months within 2 days, or like you're building like a prototype of it or something close to it. So it just makes sense that your brain has a difficult time trying to keep up with everything. Yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll wrap it up there. But in case you didn't know, this show was brought to you by OpenClaw. Our producer, my OpenClaw that I've created, pulled together these articles. Every day I would get messages saying, which articles do you want to bring in? And yeah, it kind of worked. I think we need to work on it giving us an intro. We need to give us talking points. But this is open code, right? Open Claude. You just work on it, tweak it, and have it do it. But so we've got a AI producer now, which is nice.
Does it have a name?
Well, I mean, mine's Claudius Maximus.
Claudius Maximus. Okay, cool.
So Anyway, that's all we have time
Cool.
for. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Well, we're not on Instagram anymore. We just YouTube.
We've been
streaming on Twitch. If you are on Twitch, we don't really get many people on Twitch, but we are on there. So if you prefer that platform, go give us a follow on there at commandai.show. Join us next week for all the news in AI design and dev. I've been Sam.
And I've been Kabarza.
Keep on vibing, baby.